I never really caught that. Did you say we're going live?
Yeah, we're live now, mate. Thank you to everyone for joining. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. As you can see, we have Stephen Ray with us. How are you, mate? Hello. Can you hear us, Stephen? Hello. Can you hear me all right, mate?
I didn't hear anything there, mate.
Can you hear me a bit better now? No. Do you have headphones? Let's see if that works.
Well, I heard you there.
Okay. We'll just start. Take it slow. So the first question I want to ask, which is probably what everyone's wondering, how are you in general, and how are the knees?
I heard you a little bit better there. I broke up a little, but
how are the knees, and how are you?
I've not got headphones with me, no.
Can you hear me all right? Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So what I heard there is, how is my knees and how is me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I managed to make out the question. So my knees are better. My right knee's perfect. Like, my right knee's fine. My left knee's the one that gives me issues. It's no obviously the best knee in the world, but it's manageable. I mean, I fought for 2 years with the knee the way it was anyway. So, or maybe like a year and a half, 3 fights. I still managed to go 2-1 out of the 3 fights with my bad knee. I just actually got an MRI on it there now to see if there's anything different or whatever going on. But yeah, it's been better. I've tried to add some muscle to my legs. So since I did that, it's felt a bit better. And yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
That's good. That's good. So of course you've announced your return. Excuse me. What made you decide it was time to come back? I think there might be a bit of delay. Can you hear me?
I didn't make.
No. I'll ask again.
Make out the question, mate.
I'll ask again. So you're making your return. What made you decide it was time to come back?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear the question, or have you just only just heard me? Hello.
I just feel like I've got more to give. Yeah, I've only just heard you there. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I think there's a bit of delay, mate. But I can hear you fine.
Must be a huge delay, mate.
Yeah.
It's crashing, and I heard the question there now, but it seems like there's a huge delay, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah, well, the answer to that question, I just feel like I've got more to give. I'm not the oldest in the world yet, so still still only 30, so I feel like I've got a good few more years where I could see how far I could go. Obviously, my last win was the biggest win of my career. I beat Michael Johnson, pretty big win. Um, so yeah, that was basically it. I took some time off MMA training. I was just going to the gym, lifting weights. Tried to put on a bit of size, tried to add some muscle to my legs, and um, yeah, and then I went back to MMA. I'd done a few sessions, and obviously realised how much I missed it for one. So that was number one. Number two, I'm like realised, even with taking as much as like 8 to 12 weeks off, I still went in there and trained as if I had like I hadn't taken any time off. I was still felt good. Apart from that, my cardio was I was a bit more tired and I was a bit heavier as well. Like I'm walking around at roughly 90 kilos now. So um, yeah, but I'm just kind of realised that I want to try and see how far I could go and get some more fights in there. I missed the buzz.
Yeah.
Missed the buzz and stuff from fighting. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's good to see that you're returning. You mentioned that you were a free agent. Can you tell me what your relationship is like with the UFC, and if we could actually see you there again? Is a possibility?
to be honest, even before I announced my retirement, there was a bit of things going on with the UFC. They obviously knew about my ongoing problem. There was a couple of times where I had to get surgery and stuff, and MRI scans and appointments with orthopedics, and they were picking up the bill. And so, yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I think the last the last I had heard from the UFC said that they had spoken to their specialist. Um, like I'm guessing it's some sort of orthopedic, and that supposedly they said that I shouldn't be fighting with the damage that's done to my knee. So yeah, I doubt the UFC would take me back unless maybe I went and fought somewhere else first, and showed them that I could still fight and kind of be okay. So
Yeah. We've just actually had a comment from Adam TC, which was similar. He said, "Have you spoke with the UFC since you decided to come back, or are you looking elsewhere, mate?"
yeah, so just anywhere really. I mean, right now I'm not contracted to anyone, so whoever's interested in having me on their show, and what, to be honest, I'll fight anyone, and anytime. So I literally don't care. The one thing though is I'm planning. I don't know if I'll be staying around this forever, but the plan is to have my next fight at welterweight,
Right.
so 170.
Welterweight. So it's. Do you feel you work better at that with your knee, or is that just something you've decided to do since you haven't really been at welterweight since the start of your career?
Well, yeah, like when I was welterweight, back at the start of my career, I was losing to like a lot of the guys I lost to were a lot bigger than me.
Mm.
But I think it was also because they were more skilled than me as well. Way back at the start of my career, I turned pro really early, and yeah, I feel like now that I've got the skill set that I have, and that I've added some size, I feel like it works better for my style. But again, it could just be a temporary kind of option now. Like I said, I am walking around a lot heavier. Because I've added some muscle to my legs, and I feel like it works better for my style. But I'll only find out, I suppose, if I, when I get in there and I fight some welterweights. If I go in there and I don't feel great, then I'll maybe move back down to 155. But yeah, the plan is to start with go at 170 and see how I get on.
Right. Okay. And so this one's more for the BJJ fans. Is the focus on MMA at the minute, or could we possibly see you next year in some BJJ competitions?
Yeah, I'd be up for some BJJ comps as well. I like to try and kind of stay busy, so I'd be interested in getting back on Polaris. I feel like I've been on once against Barry Pinlett. It went well, although it never really hit the mat very much. And there wasn't much like ground stuff happening. I got the win, pretty cool submission. So yeah, I'd like to get back on there, test myself against someone good. But yeah, the main focus would obviously have to be MMA.
Yeah. Oh, we've got another comment from Peter Knox, our own Peter Knox. He says, "Go to Bellator and Headline Bellator Scotland next year." Is that something that you would look on doing?
Yeah. To be honest, I'll just go anywhere. Bellator, yeah. I mean, I don't know who's the welterweight champion in Bellator. I'm not even sure. But yeah, but wherever I go, I'll obviously try and work my way up to fighting for the title. But yeah, I'd like to just fight some big names. A few people said Ben Henderson, but I'm not sure if he's still lightweight or what.
Yeah. When you put that message out that said you were coming back and you asked people where they would like you to see, did you have like a general consensus of where people actually picked, or was it just quite the mix?
Yeah, to be honest, most of the people I feel like they said back in the UFC where I belong, but yeah, like I said, that's probably not going to be an option. The only way I could ever see me going back to the UFC is if I went and fought somewhere else and made a statement and kind of showed that my knees are better and I could still fight, although I've got arthritic kind of problems.
Yeah.
Kamara Usman, he's got similar damage to his knees to mine. So he has to ice his knees after every session. I spoke to him on Instagram, and yeah, he basically just said to me that his knees are really bad. He's always having to ice them. He was looking into he's had stem cells before. He was looking into getting stem cells again. But obviously he's a big draw, so the UFC would, that's fine for them. But yeah, he's got a similar stuff, and look, he's still going in there and winning. And like I said, I went 2-1 since I've really had bother with this left knee. I've still managed to go 2-1 and still get the job done. So,
have you some of the tips that he mentioned to you? Have you been using them to see how they've worked for yourself?
Yeah, it was basically what I was doing anyway. Icing my knees. After the sessions when it swells up, try and ice them, because the thing is with my knees, my knee isn't really sore until it swells up. But the problem with that is it's almost like constantly swollen.
Yeah.
It's like since I've added muscle, since I've like added some muscle to my legs and strength much. Well, the left one anyway. My right one's fine. Like it's just my one knee I've got bothered with. Just asked quite a bit. Do I worry that my opponent will target the knee? I don't care. I'll tell my opponent. I'll go into the fight and I'll tell him that my left knee is sore. It doesn't matter at all. The problem is making it to the fight and then like being able to train really hard, like because
Let's wait to see if he comes back. We lost them. We lost them. Oh dear. Sorry about that, everyone.